you know, and I won't lie, this might sound predatory as a coin dealer, but I like it when people freak out. I make money.
Yeah.
And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not at her ripping people off, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll buy and sell all day long, and, you know, you make your premiums.
Yeah.
Whereas without that fear, without that panic, they're not buying and selling.
Festival.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Poor Man Stacker here. I'm over here at my LCS, coming to check in with Dustin and see if you got anything new today. What you got? You got something right there?
Some stuff since last time. You know, nothing too crazy. This all came in from the same guy. You know, and if you look, most of these are clean. Don't clean your coins. So this is South Africa. This is right before Queen Elizabeth took over, and not too long before they handed back over independence. Let's see, here's a little bit older. This is just a English flooring. Again, cleaned. Would be a more rare date if it was in better grade, but it was cleaned.
Nice. 1899.
Let's see, we got old German. Again, I don't know if it'll show up in the camera, but that is scratched up.
Yeah, it's definitely got some worn to it.
Still a chunk of silver. I haven't priced that one yet.
What is that? What's the percentage of silver?
Oh, that's a good question, Jordan. I always forget if they're 90% at that point or that 83.5%. Then you got Germany, right around World War II era, when the little man from Austria took over.
That's wild. I haven't seen one like that.
Yeah, so this one actually doesn't have, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this word on YouTube, but the that symbol.
Yeah.
This doesn't even have that symbol, but you get them in. They're, believe it or not, they're relatively common. It's still a chunk of silver at that point.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's, what was that, 40% silver?
this?
Yeah.
Now, again, this would either be, no, so that's the ASW, the .4016.
Okay.
Right. Again, I'd have to look it up in the book. It's either 90% or 80.
Still pretty cool.
Something.
So is that how much you're selling it for, is 16?
Correct.
Okay.
This one will be somewhere in the neighborhood of 15. This one I'll actually have to recard because that's not a $25 coin. 15 to 20.
So I take it you got a pretty good deal on these.
Yeah, yeah. Again, he cleaned them, and it ruins it.
Yeah.
So that will probably be about a $20 coin.
But it'd be cool, especially if you got entry, you know, a new beginner into collecting and stuff.
Definitely
like that
world silver.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I wanted to share, I got this at the coin club last night, and you know, supposedly there were dealers and big time collectors, and so a lot of you watching will already know exactly what this is. But this is a United States typeset from Dansko. It's a good 70/70, you know, and this is one of the best Dansko albums you can get. Dansko's going through an issue right now where they had to move because of taxes, then they had to move because of COVID, or they had to slow down because of COVID, and then they just had a flood in their factory, so they're not pumping out a lot of albums, so a lot of the albums are bringing big dollars. I paid $40 for this, and it'll sell all day for $100, give or take, on eBay.
Wow.
Quick, too.
Wow.
Like, I won't keep this in the shop, because nobody will pay that in the shop.
Oh, really?
But the point of this, because it's clearly not silver, is if you go to your coin shop and you see something like this that you could easily turn for a profit, 40, 50 bucks, give or take, you can easily flip that into more silver that you weren't expecting, you know. So take advantage of it when you can.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and then the only other thing is I got in is another sovereign. So this was sold to a customer just about as soon as I bought it, and it's close to a quarter ounce. I know in one of our last,
really nice.
It really is. In one of our last videos, we had another sovereign. I don't hold on to these very long.
Yeah.
And
I got a 1901.
That's right, you got it.
Yeah. 1901 from you, and then Eric bought another one.
The other
from
one.
you. Yeah.
And then my other buddy who is off camera right now, he bought this one almost instantly. And does Patrick want to say hi? No, we got to put you on it.
No.
You don't want to be on
You're
it?
fine.
He's camera shy. It's okay.
No worries.
But so this actually came in the form of a trade. So he wanted to trade up. Here, let me take that out for you.
Oh yeah, we've
For-
seen this before.
Yep, he saw that in my tray and he wanted to trade.
Okay.
Just to,
So he traded this one back
partially, yep.
partially, and then it's going to pay
The rest
the
in
difference.
cash.
Okay.
And you know, he had lost a little bit on this. That's only natural. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But he at least gets to trade up. Plus the bezel, I think, is what 14 karat, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So
Are you going to keep it? Are you going to keep the bezel on there?
Yeah, I'm going to keep the bezel.
yeah.
Okay. So he don't mind the bezel, which I don't blame you. It's 14 karat.
Well,
Anyways.
I was going to have it taken off, but it's not that much more with it, so why not? You know?
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, and the coin at some point had been polished, probably when they put it in the bezel. So you could
Yeah.
realistically just wear this if you felt like wearing $1,200-$1,300 around your
Yeah,
neck.
no
Gotta
kidding.
show off every now and then.
I guess so.
Yeah, a little barter necklace.
But no,
pretty neat.
that's about it. That's coming, not counting just random bullion stuff.
Right. So silver's still been just going.
Yeah,
right?
it's starting to slow down.
That brings up a question. 90%. Is 90% coming down finally, or?
Yeah, definitely is. I think people got over the high of it, and you know, as we get further away from brick, people aren't as afraid as they were. You know, they calm down. Time heals all wounds, but
They realize that they're able to still use their money.
right, yeah, and that's what I'd been saying in the beginning. Like, you know, and I won't lie. This might sound predatory as a coin dealer, but I like it when people freak out. I make money.
Yeah.
And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not at her ripping people off, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll buy and sell all day long, and you know, you make your premiums.
Yeah.
Whereas without that fear, without that panic, they're not buying and selling. So it is
Absolutely.
starting to slow down.
Well, they need money anyways. So because I mean they're not coming here, you know, because they just want to let you hang on to it and borrow it.
Right.
They want to sell it because they need money, and
Right.
that's the good thing about stacking and having, you know, silver and gold, you know, for that
Right, 'cause
little hedge.
I'm not a pawn shop. So,
Yeah.
you know, we can buy and trade all day long, but once it's in the shop, I sell it.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to make a profit. So
And unlike a lot of the older dealers out there, you know, I sell on eBay.
Yeah.
So things can go gone quick. But then you get people that'll buy it back a week later if they needed money.
Yeah.
And you try not to hurt them too much on it. So
now in this shop, what age do you see buying the most of the 90%? You know, your constitutional and stuff
for
like
the
that.
most part, I mean, just collecting in general, it's definitely an older man sport.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say average age is probably like 65.
Really?
Yeah. When I go to the coin club meetings, which I go to for a month, one every week basically, I'm generally the youngest guy there by a good 20 plus years.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
So this shop technically hasn't been seeing too much young people yet.
no. Besides maybe a certain YouTuber himself, and there's a few other guys that come in that. There's that one guy, but outside, yeah, that's how rare it is. Like I can't think of anybody else.
Wow.
It's mostly older people.
Yeah.
And again, who knows why? Half of it, people they just like collecting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
that's really it.
Let's see what you got right there.
This is just your basic 90% stuff. Although there was one cool piece in here that hasn't sold that I thought would. So you got some standing Liberty quarters, some with dates, some without dates.
How much are these currently going for?
So in shop, about 22 times face.
Okay.
And you're talking, what, just a month ago? I was probably getting 26 pretty easily.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Silver's coming down. Do you think? What's your personal opinion on that? Do you think we got further down to go?
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's one of those where we literally used to do a quarterly bet where we'd sit there. There's like 5 of us in it, and we would all write down on a piece of paper what we thought silver would be at the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
And we would all, I don't know if I should say this, but we would wager like 5 silver eagles or something. We
Yeah.
had to pay into it.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Hey, it's under $1,000.
Yeah.
But I didn't win a whole lot. So
Went too high or too low?
normally, I was too conservative.
Yeah.
It would swing. Basically, it also you either wanted to be the highest better or the lowest, because it was never in between.
Yeah.
It was an interesting little. We did that for years, but yeah. So you never know. Something crazy could happen with Ukraine, tomorrow, or China,
Yeah.
and everything just skyrockets, or
Yeah.
nothing could happen.
Yeah.
And odds are nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Again, it's
You see how everything is widely connected. Something can happen to a bank.
Yeah.
It'll affect gold and silver.
Yeah.
Something can, happen in the news, anything, really.
just one small bank in California collapsing, and silver will shoot up 50 cents.
Yeah.
Uh,
See a lot of that too with people trying to, keep their money safe. So that's when this paper, silver, and gold it's a mess, man.
Right.
So people really try to take these funds from here and dump it into silver and gold for a safe haven.
Right. And, I've always said silver and gold, it's not that great of an investment, because if you had to buy it today and sell it 6 months from now, you're going to lose money.
Yeah.
It's great for
Long term.
Long term, a hedge against inflation. If I had a customer come in, I'll tell a quick story. He, I think it was like $70 face, 90%, which is a good chunk. And he had a bunch of eagles, and he had to decide if he wanted to sell. So he sold me a bunch of 40% silver out of it, but he had to decide if he wanted to sell the 90% of the eagles. And he asked me would I hold on to it, and I told him, I said, if you're going to hold on to it, you got to be thinking 10 years plus, because again, it's not going to jump in a year. I mean, you never know, unforeseen.
Yeah.
But it could, but odds are it won't. It really hasn't done it in the last 10 years, so.
But there's always that but,
Yeah, there's, it could be, what was it, 2012, I think, where it hit $50 an ounce.
Yeah.
I've mentioned that in another video, too.
Yeah.
So.
So you think that with everything with the bricks and stuff like that, just kind of spiked up you got new stackers. Could new stackers kind of really, because it's a really entry way of stacking, so it could have drove it up too.
It's possible, but I don't think there's that many smart people in this world. Saving 90% is a very smart thing to do. And that's not just from a dealer aspect. That's also from a collector myself. But no, I don't think that there's been enough people that have entered the marketplace to drive up the price.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot.
But with everything, like even me as a really new stacker, you got new YouTubers out there, a lot of channels sparking up, a lot of new people are coming into the market. Can you see it being a problem, really?
So for the most part, there's not ever going to be just one factor that brings up the price. There's always going to be, a little here, a little there. So maybe all of it put together at the same time, possibly. But yeah, no, I mean.
Do you think new stackers should go straight for the 90%, or should they just go straight for bullion, 999?
So it's a cheaper entryway, because, my biggest piece of advice is if you don't have a lot of money but you want to buy silver, don't go buy silver bullion grams, because you're going to pay like 3 times, 4 times melt.
Yeah, high premium.
Yeah, because it'll only be like $2 for a gram, but a gram's, I don't even know what the melt is on it right now. Probably like 60-something cents or give or take.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and so buy you a silver dime. You'll spend close to the same amount, and you'll get more silver in it. And you could buy 5 of these a week.
Yeah.
And it slowly adds up. And then maybe when you have more money, you can bump up to quarters.
Yeah.
And then obviously halves. 90% is a much easier entryway.
Yeah.
And you can collect it at the same time.
Yeah.
So you get 2 purposes for the price of one.
Well, say that your new stacker has got, let's just say, a couple $100 a week to be able to.
He's doing good then.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think he should?
So at that point, you would diversify.
Really?
You'd buy a little 90%. Obviously, the bigger pieces. But like what we've talked about before, little pieces is good in case, something hits the fan. You can buy a loaf of bread with a dime, whereas a half would be too big.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely diversify. Get you 90%. I mean, if you definitely have a couple hundred every week, maybe you could have a plan each week. 90% this week, 999 the next week, a small piece of gold the week after.
Yeah.
So
those 1/10 is what I started off with, really, because I mean it was
it's
just
tough.
Yeah.
It's the same concept of buying a 1 gram silver piece.
Yeah.
It's easier, it's cheaper to buy a 1/10 or even a 1 gram gold piece.
Yeah.
But the premiums on them,
Yeah.
you're going to spend $2,800 per ounce.
That's why I kind of stopped buying the 1/10s, because I was buying them for like $200, and now they're like $240, $250.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But not everybody has the $2,000 to buy a 1 ounce. So
Yeah.
and if you're not that person, at least at the end of the day, you'd at least have gold
Yeah.
over paper money. You might be high in it, but it's going to wash eventually, and then it'll be worth more. So
Yeah.
either way's a good way.
Cool. All right, man. Well, appreciate it for your time as always.
Not a problem.
All right, you guys, I appreciate it for your time as always. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.